So I just flew the Mavic Pro today. I did my test flight, and I do have some bad news to tell you guys, and this is going to have to be returned, so stay tuned for what my reasons are for why I'm returning it. So today was the day I did my test flight. I got it all updated, got the new app, updated the drone, the controller, everything was all good. It said it was all ready. And yeah, so took it outside, started it up. Everything seemed to be going fine. Uh, it takes off and it flies really, really good. Like I really like that. It's a really stable drone. It seems to fly really nice. The controls seem to be really smooth on it and everything. So what I did before I even flew this thing is a day before I took a whole day to do research and checking out all the problems that people were having with the Mavic Pro. And you should always do that when you get a new product. Go look and see what all the problems are. And you pretty much should go through it like a checklist and make sure your product doesn't have the same issues as everyone else is going through. And if there's no issues, then it should be all good. So I went online and I looked around, and there's a few problems with gimbal and stuff. Some people are saying it's going all jelly. Didn't have that kind of problem at all. Some people saying their Maverick went crazy and did circles and crashed and stuff like that, which is obviously a factory error or something like that, because something's going wrong with the computer or something in it. So I actually found two things that are wrong with it that affects me. First is the Mavic Pro does not actually do good with filming in 60 frames per second or 96 frames per second. So that's like 2 times slow motion and 3 times slow motion. So I guess that kind of is a big bummer. It's kind of like the standard where it can't really do it. It's meant for wearing the goggles, I guess. So I guess you're only supposed to film in 30 frames per second and or 24 frames per second. That's pretty much all it can do, or 25 if you're in the UK. Yeah, so if you're wanting slow motion, that's kind of not really what you should go for. You should go for the advanced Phantom 3 or the Phantom 4. So I was trying to choose between the Mavic Pro and the Phantom 3 Standard. And the reason why I thought the Mavic Pro was the better drone to get was it had those higher frame rate settings, so you could do slow motion filming. But obviously that's not the case, because that's kind of made for the goggles and flying first person. So that doesn't really help me there, and that was the first bummer I found out about. Now the second bad news, and which is the worst bad news and why I have to send it back, is because on the right side of the camera, it actually does not focus properly. So I'll be playing a video and showing you guys, but I took it up and I flew it around the place, and I wasn't going to go take it anywhere crazy or fly it far away. So I pretty much just flew it up and took it around the place and tested it out. I left it in 4K and it was all in automatic, so the film doesn't really look the greatest. It's kind of grainy because it was a little dark out, so 4K and being dark and a small sensor doesn't really work too well. But the picture looks really, really crisp when it's standing still and stuff. So that gives a really good indication of it's a really nice picture. You can see in the center and the left hand side it looks really, really nice, but all on the right hand side on about a third of the whole screen is pretty blurry, and so that's definitely a lens problem. That's a factory error. So I went on the DJI forum and spoke to support, and they pretty much told me they want to process it right away and have me send it off and have them replace it. I heard a few people were actually talking to them, and they kind of gave them a runaround saying, oh, try this and try that, like calibrate the compass and try calibrate the IMU, which is the gimbal, and which that doesn't make any sense because it's a lens problem. But when I talked to them, they didn't give me any kind of runaround at all. They just said, what was the problem? They said, okay, that needs to be sent back and we will send you a replacement. Because I'm sure more than a few people have actually went through the same thing and the same problem. Because I went on a forum and there was more than 20 people on that forum who had the same exact problem. So it could be a bad batch. So the people who got it early, they might have to deal with it and might have to wait a while. And that's pretty bad news for someone like me who wants to take off to the Philippines in about a month. So they said it was going to take 1 to 2 weeks to get it all settled and have a new drone here. If that's true, that'll be really awesome. So I kind of want to talk to DJI first and make sure there actually is stock available for when I send it off. It'll be sent right away. So that should only take around like 10 days to 2 weeks because it only took 5 days to get here. It is fast shipping, but the thing that worries me is there seems to be low stock everywhere. There's a big shipping problem. Lots of people who've ordered their drones haven't even got theirs yet. So there's a lot of people worried that there's going to be low stock during the Christmas season because everyone's going to try to be buying them. So I'm kind of worried if I send it in now that maybe I'll have to wait a month, maybe 2 months to get it. I would really hope that's not the case, but if there's low stock, then who really knows? So I kind of want to get that all sorted out before I actually send it, because once you buy your drone and it's delivered, you have 7 days to actually return it for a refund, a full refund. So those are my two options. I could return it for a new DJI Mavic Pro, or I could just return it and get my refund and buy it a later day when it's out on store stocks. The bonus I think for waiting a while is because this is the version 1 of the Mavic Pro. There's definitely going to be some issues like there has been. Um, but as the new versions come out, there'll be a lot more better product care. So take for instance my Phantom 2, it's a version 3 Phantom 2, and a lot of people were having problems with the Phantom 2 1s and the Phantom 2 version 2s. So I went with the version 3 and I rarely had problems with it. It still flies fine. When you go with the version 1, then you're prone for it to have problems and you're going to have to deal with uh, support a lot more probably. So that is the kind of downside of getting in on the first version of a product. So I kind of had the feeling when I actually bought this drone because the first day I thought, well, if I wait too long, then there's going to be huge wait to actually get the drone. And if I wait too long, then maybe I'll get it right before I have to leave to the Philippines. And if there's any kind of problem, there won't be any time to actually get it fixed or send it off or anything like that. So it would have been a way bigger hassle if I would have waited to buy it. So I thought better buy it just right now. And if there's a problem, then at least that gives me a month and a half before I'm leaving that I can actually send it off and get it fixed or return it or whatever. So I talked to the wifey about what I should do, if I should just return it and maybe buy it later or just try to exchange it for another one. And she says I should just exchange it for another one and just go with that. And I'm sure if there's a problem with that one, then I'll just return it and get my money back and worry about it next year or something. So yeah, that's the hassle I'm going with right now. Actually, DJI seemed to be really cool on the chat. I went on their forum and just chatted with them, and they pretty much just got me a return ticket right away. They said just follow the steps and send it off, and we'll send you a new one as soon as possible. So, gonna go with that, and yeah, so that's the dilemma. But luckily, it was. So yeah, that's the dilemma. But luckily, I have enough time to actually return it, hopefully, or return and get my money back. So I'm trying to decide this weekend on what I should do, but I'm thinking I'm probably just going to return it and get another one because it flies really, really nice. Um, it flies better than my Phantom 2, and the thing that I need it for is like the actual good camera, because my camera on my Phantom 2 is really jerky when I use it to like pan up and down and stuff, and I just can't stand the fisheye. So other than the bad 60 frames per second and 96 frames per second, and the bad camera with the bad focusing on the right hand side, those are the only problems. Everything else seemed to be really, really nice. One other problem that I found that I've heard actually happens lots with the other Phantom drones is my Moto G phone it's a cheaper phone. I hooked it up and it seemed to work fine. The video played HD. I could see where I'm flying. There's a few moments where it get a little tiny glitchy, but nothing bad at all. I could always see what I was doing or where I was going. But when I was landing it, it started giving me a signal saying I was in a airport area, because I guess there's an airport nearby. But I don't know why it was giving me a warning at the end of the flight when I was trying to land it. And when I was trying to land it, it actually dropped signal from my phone. And luckily, it just hovered there and it didn't move at all. I just connected back the phone and then landed the drone and was fine pretty much. But That was the only other issue where it just dropped the connection. So I guess it would be a really bad news if you dropped the connection and it was over the ocean or something like that. Or yeah, that's something you'd really want to watch out for, and make sure you have full batteries, because normally you can set it that if it loses connection, it'll just return to home, and you should make sure you set that before you start playing around with one of these. So that's the end of my video. My final thoughts on the first impressions of flying it for the first time, my test flight, is it flies really nice, super stable. I didn't really mess around with any of the commands where it's like follow me or do circles around me or anything like that. Just really simple flying around the property and pretty much landing it. Everything seems to be really good other than the problem with the camera and the problem with the no slow motion. So just a heads up for you guys who are thinking about buying one of these. You may want to wait till they fix all the bugs and the problems with the first generation. You may want to wait till next year. It's up to you, because I'm sure there's a lot more people who are going to have problems with their drones. So that's it for this video. Stay tuned for more. I'm hopefully going to be doing some more test videos when the new drone comes. Going to be sending this off right away once I get my shipping ticket. And I guess it's free shipping. I just send it off to UPS and they deliver it, and I wait for the new one. So that's my plan. Hope this video has helped you guys out there if you're thinking about buying one of these. I'm not saying don't buy one, but it's kind of iffy right now, and there's going to be a crazy lineup. So maybe it's just best to wait for the crazy Christmas rush to be over. And that's probably a reason why, they mess up with the camera, is a lot of people are saying it's just sloppy manufacturing, because it just seems like a manufacturing error. So they're probably just slapping these together really fast because it's Christmas time and they need as many as possible out. So maybe the product control is not really quite there yet. So maybe that's something we gotta wait for. Hopefully they're gonna send me an actual good working drone. I really need it, and if not, I'm gonna be sending it back and get my money back. So stay tuned for that, and till next time, peace out, stay safe, catch you guys later.